back from orientation at Florida A&M, and there are things that have just been weighing so heavily on me, and I feel like I have to share. There's part of me that was a little nervous about what I'm going to talk about, but then I thought that I have to be the one to say certain things, because for a lot of you out there, I've got a diverse group of friends, and for a lot of you guys out there, I am one of my best friends is Black, right? So because of that, I feel like there are certain things that happen that if I didn't talk about it, you wouldn't know. You just wouldn't know about it, because how many of your interactions deal with what honestly goes on in the homes of a lot of Black families. So this is about our orientation at Florida A&M University, which is an HBCU, which is a historically Black college and university. My son Aaron, as you guys know, because we're so proud, had a 4.3 GPA. He scored over a 12, I can't remember. You would think that I would know that. What he got on the SAT, but it was a high score. And he is entering college as a second semester sophomore with 43 college credits out of high school. He's 17 years old. That's pretty good and pretty impressive. So I've been asked, why is he going to FAM? Couldn't he get into other schools, better schools? The fact of the matter is he could. He could get into a lot of schools with that. He's going to FAM because FAM's the best choice for him, and it's the best choice for our family. And I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I experienced that completely blew me away about him going there. If you have never had an opportunity to be somewhere where, so it's like for the first time in our lives, let me rephrase this. For the first time in my life, I did not have to be aware of my race in a group of people. I was at a historically Black college and university. There were more people there that looked like me than didn't look like me. And you don't realize how freeing that is, other than a church setting, because you know how segregated our churches are. But other than a church setting, I've never been around that many people where I wasn't a minority and where I didn't have to be aware of my race. If I had an issue with something that was going on about his registration or admission or whatever, I didn't have to be mindful to not come across as the angry Black mom. I was just a mom. For the first time in my life, I was just a mom that was there concerned about my kid. I haven't had that. You know, I've always had to be the advocate for Aaron. Aaron is extremely bright, always has been. In middle school, there was a challenge program that he was not referred for, and I couldn't understand why he wouldn't be referred for it. He scored the lowest on teacher recommendation. So everything that was was based on how he performed and his grades and his test taking and his knowledge of information, he was way up here. His lowest scores were teachers' recommendations. I didn't get that. I had to fight for that. There have been meetings that we've gone to, honors class meetings, dual enrollment class meetings, where the only people in the room that looked like us was us. When I asked him why he was considering Florida A&M, he said he was looking forward to just being a student and not the smart Black student for the first time in his life. You know, his honors classes, he's the only one that looks like him. But he dual enrolled at the community college, so it was a more diverse environment. But I noticed, the kids that graduated with a 4.0 or higher, he was the only one of 2 Black males that did that, when 20% of the kids at that school graduated with over a 4.0. It didn't make any sense to me. When we went on the campus of FAM, there were kids from South Florida with the gold grills in the bottom of their teeth, but let me tell you what, these were the STEM majors. These were math and science kids. When you asked them what they were majoring in, it was mechanical engineering. It was I had to check myself for perceptions that society has given me about what young Black males look like. These are smart kids. We are looking forward, and he is looking forward. I know he's going to have to deal with the world when he graduates high school or college. He's going to have to get back in it and deal with it again. But for the first time in his life, he has a break from it. Ryan, has told me he's been detained by law enforcement over this summer here in Pensacola because he fit descriptions. At Florida A&M, if Aaron fits a description, they're going to have a little bit more to go on besides Black and male. I mean, they're going to have something more. And as a mom, the relief that feels for me to have a break from all of that, I mean, I just can't tell you. He has dealt with preconceptions based on his race since he was a toddler. I remember taking him into, my husband's a naval officer, a pilot. I remember going to visit Daddy at work and people walking up to him and to Ryan trying to high five them or dap them, give them dap as little boys. And they would reach out their hand confused because we taught them how to give a firm handshake, not a dap, not a fist bump or a high five, but hello, sir, how are you doing? So from the time they were toddlers, people expected certain behaviors out of them. We went and asked about scholarship information. With those kind of credentials, there's scholarships that are available for him. For the first time, I wasn't greeted with well, his Pell Grant should cover most of it. Instead, it was, you guys don't qualify for financial aid, do you? I mean, those little things that you don't have to deal with, that you're so used to people automatically assuming that you don't make enough money and that your kid's going to have to rely on Pell Grants. No, we are on the opposite side. We're looking for these scholarships because, he's earned them. He's put in the work and he's earned them. But it was just everything from walking into a building and hearing music that you're familiar with. I attended the University of Georgia back in the 80s, and one of the reasons I wanted to go to Georgia is I wanted to prove that I could and prove that I could be successful there. For a while, Aaron's not going to have to deal with Confederate flags hanging from frat houses. He's just not. It's going to be a great break. But now we're at the point where, the best and brightest don't have to prove themselves at state universities. If they choose to go to a historically black college or university, it's not because that's the only place they could go now. It's because that's where they want to go. That's where they feel more comfortable going. That's where, for once in their life, the little things that happen on a daily basis probably won't happen. The playing field is finally level for him for the first time since he was born. When Ryan was born, the nurse wheeled him into my room and started to wheel him out because they didn't think he was mine because he was so fair until the light hit him. I remember going down the elevator with Aaron and one of my nurses asking me if all my babies were so fair-skinned. From the time they were born, they were judged on their race and their complexion. And for the first time, that's not going to be a thing for him. I cannot tell you what a relief as a mom that is. I know some of you don't understand. You've never been a minority in a group of people like that. You've never spent time. You can go through life and not be aware of your race. But for 2 days, I wasn't the black mama. I was just a mom with my kid who was going to college. And it was awesome. It was an awesome feeling. So for some of you out there that may be considering HBCUs, but think, it sounds better or looks better if you send your kid to a different school, there are great programs in these schools. And there's that, Gerard Carmichael said in his comedy show that every day there's an added element of being black. And I know that it's uncomfortable for some of you. I know people say that if you quit talking about race, it goes away. I know people say sometimes it's the race card. I'm telling you, I'm the black lady you know. This is the black family you guys know. You guys know my kids. You know me. You know Shane. When I tell you it's always an issue, it is always an issue everywhere you go. So if some of you guys are considering HBCUs, but for whatever reason think we don't have to go there anymore, so I'm going to send my kids somewhere else, I want you to strongly reconsider that it was a feeling in your spirit that was gone, that a heaviness that went completely away by being there. And so I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys a little bit because I've had so many people say, what was it like? How did you enjoy orientation? I talked to a friend of mine from college that went to Georgia with me, and I was like, we should have gone to FAM. It was just there was a sense of community and familiarity that I can't really, there we go, my thing's messing up, that I can't really explain. And his answer with me was like, no, we needed to go out and we needed to integrate and all that. And we did. It was the 80s and we could and we did. And I'm proud. Yeah, go Dogs, right? Any other place that Aaron would have chosen to go besides FAM, I would have pushed for Georgia because it was good enough for me. But there's a certain relief that you feel being black in America, to know that there's some things that you're just not going to have to deal with on the same level that you deal with on an everyday basis, just being black. So, you know, again, I hope that this kind of gave you, thank you, Mona, right, family, right? I'm telling you, you know, I appreciate you guys listening to this, because this is just my mama heart talking. You know, there's a lot of fear that goes along with raising black males. There's a lot of fear. And, you know, for the first time in my life, I felt like there were some things that I would be able to sleep a little bit better, because of where he was choosing to go. And so, again, not everybody's going to tell you that. You know, you guys may not be exposed to people who will be honest with you and tell you that, because there's always so much drama and negativity every time you try to bring up race. And it's not to complain, it's just to get you to understand a little bit about some of the challenges that we face, you know, on a daily basis. Just wondering if your kid's going to come back. I know we all collectively as parents, no matter what your race is, have that fear, but there's a little bit more of an added element. There really is. You know, unless you've experienced it, I can't really, you know, help you understand it. But we are so excited, you know, and we did choose to send our honors student to historically black college, and I'm really, really glad that we did. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. You guys have any questions about anything, you know, if this is sparking some ideas or questions you might have about race that you want to talk about, you know, I'm the one, you know. I don't mind being one of my best friends is black person. I've got a lot of people that ask me questions in a respectful, wanting to know way. I don't mind sharing with you my experiences or my thoughts, because it's not coming from a place of hate or victimization or any of that. It's just real talk. It's just, you know, trying to get you to understand just a little bit better. So you guys are going to be seeing me sport the green and the orange along with my red and black. So I'm going to be, you know, go Dogs and go Rattlers too. Anyway, you guys have a good rest of your day. I hope that it got you to understand, you know, some things a little bit more. So anyway, have a good one.